into legal outreach, I would describe myself as unorganized. Didn't really have a sense of direction.
I was about 14 years old, completely clueless, I had no idea what I wanted to do with myself.
I had no clear picture of how to get there or what a college looked like.
My mom doesn't speak English, and there was only so much she could do to help me. She wanted me to go to college, but what did it mean to go to college? She couldn't tell me, and that's what legal outreach did.
So if you want to see the rest of this video, please go to our website. You'll see our 30th anniversary celebration. We've been doing this work now for 36 years, but you'll see these young people and their stories about how legal outreach helped them. So first of all, I'd like to thank Shimon and his partners at Aerial Property, as well as Burden for sponsoring this and sponsoring legal outreach, and thank all of you for the purchase of your tickets and for your support of legal outreach as an organization. It's certainly going to help us do this work, which is all about preparing kids for future success by helping them get into the best possible college. So let me just say that people oftentimes ask me, why do you do this work and why have you been doing this for 36 years, especially when they hear that I graduated from Harvard Law School. And I can tell you the truth, sometimes I've asked myself that question, but the real reason is that my first year out, I had a fellowship that gave me an opportunity to come to New York City and to work with young people within our urban areas to see whether I could make a difference in their lives. And I did that. And the experiences I had during that year convinced me that the work that I had set out to do needed to be ongoing. And one of those experiences that really shaped my desire to do this was meeting a young man at that time who was around 30, whose name was Walter Wilson. Now, Walter was a high school graduate, and occupationally, he was a pharmaceutical seller. And if you can imagine, that was illegal pharmaceuticals, but he was making a tremendous living. I mean, it was lucrative for him, believe me. But as with anybody who chooses that route, it eventually catches up with you, and Walter ended up in jail, even though he actually got himself a couple of opportunities when he was arrested. He actually represented himself and was able to get off. But again, it eventually catches up. And so Walter went to jail, and while he was in jail, he became a voracious reader. And I'm going to tell you, Walter is one of the brightest people I have ever met, bar none. He was eloquent, he was very analytical, he understood the world, and most especially, he understood the community that he lived in, which was Harlem. And so I asked Walter during one of our conversations, so, what's one of the most influential books you read while you were in prison? And he said, it was a book called Occupations. And I said, I'm not familiar with that. He said, it was just a book about listing occupations that people could pursue. He said to me that book floored him because he had no idea in growing up that so many occupations were there to pursue. From his standpoint, growing up in Harlem, he knew that there were jobs that were available doing blue-collar, manual labor, because that's what he saw. He saw people not doing anything, and then he saw people doing illegal things. And he made the choice early on that he would do the illegal thing and take his chances. But again, it eventually caught up with him. But I remember him saying that had he been exposed to the opportunities that exist, he never would have chosen a life of crime. And that influenced me because I made up my mind at that point that I wanted to be a person who served the needs of people who were bright and talented, just like Walter, but needed further exposure. And that's what legal outreach does. But we need your help. And what we're asking you all to do is to help us in this journey. And all it takes is for you to be willing to devote 2 or 3 hours of your time once a year to expose our kids to your company and job opportunities that are available. That's all it takes. Because the more exposure they get, the more they start to dream, the harder they start to work, and the more of a difference we're able to make as a community of concerned New Yorkers. So I, along with my colleague, Tamika Edwards, will be outside when this is all over. Please hand us your card. And again, if you can just spare 2 or 3 hours to introduce kids to careers within your company or corporation, you are making a difference in the lives of kids who want only one thing, that is an opportunity to succeed. Thanks so much.